Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, visiting Parkway Hyundai, and I'm checking out a work of art. It's a 2023 Hyundai IONIQ 6 in the SEL trim level. This is the long-range all-wheel drive with the 20-inch wheels. This vehicle is sitting on 245/40 Pirelli tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Serenity White, and it looks fantastic in contrast with this gloss black around the vehicle. This combination looks great, but it's not just a regular white color. It does have the little, like a metal flake, pearl coat type effect to it. Really impressive when you see it in person. So here in the front, there's actually parking sensors integrated into this gloss black portion right here. Right in there is where your parking sensors are. Right here is the adaptive radar cruise control sensor. Also, this whole area right in here is the active grille shutters. They open up when the vehicle needs cooling, for climate control, or for the battery in different systems. The headlight housing has these little, once again, square pixels. We saw this in the IONIQ 5 as well. This kind of retro pixel style to the vehicle, and you'll see it throughout this vehicle as well. Now you see that it's gloss black, but that it has this like silver gray material right here at the very bottom, and we'll see that extend there on the sides as well as the back. The headlights are a projector LED headlight system, with the outer two being the low beams, the inner two being the high beams. The turn signal and DRL, daytime running light, are these pixels right below it. So it looks really distinct and nice, especially at nighttime. I have a night video of the IONIQ 5. Hopefully one day I'll be able to do a night video on this vehicle, because it's just a really impressive sight to behold with these vehicles. Just a work of art. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, you can see it has a significant swooping look. So we have from here swooping down quite aggressively there in the back. But the way it's designed, when I got in this vehicle, I thought for sure that the headline, the roof line, was going to be too low for me. But even the front and the back is fine. It's really impressive how they achieved that style, that design, while still being having a battery in the floor and a low kind of swooping roof line like that, and still have a lot of headroom. So very impressive. So you can see that silver portion extends here on the base of the vehicle here, kind of swoops up, and then it's more prominent there in the back. Now the handles are body colored, and they kind of extend in, concealing themselves and being more aerodynamic as well. Body colored, and the upper portion of the side mirrors body colored. Now the pillar here in the center right here is a matte black. Same thing with the front portion that's connected to the door here. But then the glass portion right here is a gloss black. So if this was all gloss black and then you tinted the windows, I think it would be much better. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key system, and it's a pretty large key, but it's extremely light key, but it is kind of big. It is kind of bulky. Now it does have it's a full proximity key system, and it has like the Hyundai emblem across it. And also it looks like these buttons kind of glow in the dark at first glance. I hadn't seen this at nighttime, but that's what it looks like. The ability to lock and unlock the doors, remote start, a panic button here, as well as a button here on the edge for opening up the power trunk. So it has like this metallic finish to it, looking pretty neat. So when you lock the doors, you can see the handle here is popped out. But when you lock the doors, they close. And when you unlock it, it pops out. Like so. Now this is set up to where in the settings you can set it this way, where you walk up to the vehicle with the key, it automatically pops the handles out. But if they don't pop out, you basically just push on the handle like that, and it unlocks the door. As long as it senses the key within a close proximity to the outside of the door, you're able to unlock the doors like so. To relock it, as long as you have the key with you, you can just basically push on that again, and it'll close up. So if you don't want to use the key, or if you have that setting turned off, then you can just manually do it that way. And the way the handles are is, let's say the vehicle's unlocked. You can basically pull the handle out and pull on it like so. Let's go ahead and unlock it. So some doors, if you'll have to do that, you push in and then unlock and open up the door this way. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only, right in there. So you just pull this out and there it is right there. And there's a physical key on the inside of the key fob as well. Looking at the inside of the passenger side door, really impressive styling here. It does have some ambient light at nighttime. You'll be able to see it that shines around this door handle. But you notice this handle is enclosed all the way across here. And this is like a fabric type material here, so that's soft. But the rest of the door, most of it is this hard touch plastic. You can see it has these little ripples right in here, looking pretty neat. Gonna give it a little bit of style. And check it out, like this large speaker grill as well, kind of swooping there. And then this is all hard touch here at the bottom, that large compartment as well. So it's kind of a simplistic design, very impressive, artistic. Hell, it looks good to me, I'll just say that. All right, so there's the threshold. It has the sill plate, just a plastic one there, IONIQ 6. Manually adjusted seat here on the passenger side. It does have a height adjustment. These seats are a synthetic material. They kind of simulate leather. Looking really nice. It has this little color piping there on the back. Kind of looks kind of neat. You have the perforations there in the center part. The outer portion is solid. And then right where the seat meets up with this hard plastic, there is a like a microfiber cloth type material. So that way it's more supple and it protects the seat, lasts a little bit longer. Plenty of legroom in here. The floor is completely flat for the most part. Now the floor mat's kind of like a Berber type carpet and it hooks in place, so it stays straight on with you. Lots of space here. A little bit of tapering going on right here, but it kind of swoops up nicely. And just overall lots of legroom. And you see that center compartment is shared with the driver, so you can put some stuff in there, a bag or whatever, and it kind of raises up. There's a 12-volt power supply in there as well. So this is a hard touch surface here with a non-locking glove compartment. Go ahead and open that up. Really good size. Look how big it is. It goes way in there. And there's a little quick access pocket there. Smooth plastic on the inside. And it has more of the little ripples right in this area here. But all this is a hard touch except for the dash. It's kind of like rubbery soft up here. Non-reflective black surface. You have more of those pixels and a little blue line in there, which is pretty cool. At first glance, this may look kind of like a small vehicle, but when you start to open the doors and look inside, it's deceiving. It really is. It's amazing. So here in the front, you can see the amount of space getting in and out is tremendous. Lots of room, headroom, everything. Very little to impede you getting in and out of the vehicle. The swing of the door is nice. And check it out. Look at the back door. The swing of the door is nice. It comes out perfect as far as the swing out. And then you have lots of headroom, a little bit of tapering right here. This will be the only thing, but considering the roof line, it can't really be helped. But even in the back, the seat height off the ground is great. It's like getting in a chair. It's kind of like higher than the front a little bit. So kind of helps out getting in and out of the vehicle and just overall comfort. So the back door, very similar styling as the front, but the back door, the back seat drivers, the passengers back here, they have a little bit of a different experience, obviously, because they're not focusing on the road. So we have a little place to put like a phone or something right here. This is enclosed, you can put some stuff there. This is a cloth, extends all the way up here. This is a hard touch still. Then you have this little speaker grill, same thing down here, and then a bottle holder. a threshold, and then basically we have a bench seat that the seats fold down to add to your cargo space. There's a cup holders and armrest there in the center. That lifts up out of the way. There's also car seat attachments here. So you can see it's right in here. So it's just kind of right in this little section here, right below that. So they're easy to get to. There's no covers to get in the way or lose or anything like that. So pretty straightforward as far as putting the car seats in here. And there's one on each side. There's a place for attachments on each side, latch system. And you see the seats kind of bucket in a little bit. So it's kind of recessed there in the center, kind of giving you that comfort on each side. It is kind of raised in the center, but check it out, completely flat floor. No hump or anything in the center. So lots of leg room, lots of room. Very, very impressive design. So the back of the front seats are a hard touch surface. Then you have the net pockets here on both sides. There's also climate control vents, USB-C charge ports, and a little cubby hole there as well. The charge port is here on the passenger side. And it's right here, and there's a little button. You just press that, and it opens up for you. Pretty cool. And it has the ability to charge with a fast charger, DC or AC charging. And this has one of the fastest charging systems that you can get on the market. Pretty impressive. And then there's a little battery indicator there. And this is the button to close the door. And then this is the button to, if you want to release the nozzle. So if you want to stop charging, you don't just grab it and pull it out. You just press that, and it will tell the vehicle that you're going to pull that out. Especially on the DC, it's very important on the DC chargers to make sure you stop charging before you just grab it and pull the nozzle out. Now, once you release it, when you press the button on the top of the charger to release it, it does signal to the vehicle to stop charging, but still, this is a way of releasing it, and then that way you could safely do it. So we'll go ahead and press that, and then close it. So looking at the back of the vehicle, here at the top, there's a gloss black shark fin antenna there in the center. And then down here is a gloss black spoiler, but it also has the brake light, the third brake light integrated as well. And check it out, it has those little pixels in here. Really impressive. More of those little ribs right in there. The taillights, of course, are LED, and they're in these little pixels here. So you can see those pixels go all the way across the vehicle, starting on the side, across the trunk lid, all the way to the other side. And it has the IONIQ 6 marking there as well. Now right in here is the backup camera, and I think they did a great job. Right there is the backup camera, and it's in the very center of the vehicle. So very center of the vehicle. It's high up, so it's not down here next to the tag, and it is integrated well. You know, it's actually made well with the vehicle. Now the button to the right, this button is to open up the power liftgate, the power trunk basically. We'll get to that in just a second. So this parking sensor is integrated similar to the front, where it's integrated in the black portion here and here. You can see those on both sides. And then the reverse lights are right here at the bottom. Right above that is a reflector. So those are not lights, they're just reflectors. And you have more of those, that silver color, really impressive. Opening up the power trunk, if you have the key with you or the vehicle is unlocked, you just press this button and it lifts up. It has a carpeted portion on the underside of the trunk, and it has like a clamshell type design, and lots of room in here. Lots of room. Check it out. Now you'll notice that under here is carpeted as well, for the most part. This is a big deal to me sometimes, because some vehicles have like a lot of jagged metal and wires and all that stuff exposed here. And having this carpeted area is just a lot better when you're cramming luggages and stuff like that in here. Pretty much anything you cram in here, if it's touching bare metal and wires and stuff, could damage it. So having the complete carpeted trunk is good in my estimation. So there's actually tie downs, place to put a net pocket, that kind of stuff back here. Now, these seats do fold down. You have a 60-40 split, and they'll fold down and add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. So if you have one side down, one side up, you can have a passenger and extra cargo space. Under the floor here, there's a little bit of storage. Now it's taken up with a tire mobility kit. Now that styrofoam piece you can take out if you don't want to have that and you have a little bit of extra space, but it is just a little bit of extra subfloor space. Just a tiny bit, but it is there. Now here's the charger. It comes with this charger that is a 110 charger. And so basically this is going to take a long time to charge your vehicle. So you want to upgrade to a 220 level 2 charger for your house, definitely. This is really, in my opinion, not really even adequate, but it does give you technically the ability to charge your vehicle, but it might take a week to do it. So if you had a 220 line, a 220 a level 2 charger, you can charge it overnight. This is just, I guess it's better than nothing, but it's not really all that great. So definitely think about that. If you're buying this vehicle, you will need to go ahead and invest in a level 2 charger for your house. And if you don't have a 220 line, you'll have to have an electrician put one in close enough to where you can charge the vehicle. So closing the power trunk, there's 2 buttons here. One is to simply just close the trunk. The other one is to close the trunk and lock the vehicle. So if you have get all your groceries out, you're ready to go in the house, you just hit that. It closes the power trunk and locks and secures the vehicle. And then you can just go inside. Starting it up, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, you just hold the brake and just press this button. So obviously this is an electric vehicle, so you're not going to hear an engine start or anything, any kind of audio, any kind of audible cues to let you know that the vehicle started. So you have to look at here and you see it just says that is ready. You can see it says ready right there, and everything's activated. It gives you your range over here. So we have this, it has 94% battery with a 308 mile estimated range. And everything's ready to go. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now it's just like the other side in that it has the floor mat that hooks in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, lots of leg room. Footrest there with the little pixels on it, looking pretty cool. So let's take a look under the hood. Once you release the hood, the latch is a little bit to the right of center. So right in here, just reach in, move it to the left, and then lift up. You see it right here, what you're doing. And it goes up and holds itself, which is nice. So you see that it has a compartment here that's kind of small, but it's kind of sealed up, so there shouldn't be any water or dirt or debris getting in this compartment. So you can put some stuff in here. But it's relatively small. And you can see the seal around it. Now it does have a regular battery, 12-volt battery here on the right side. You're able to access that by popping this cover off. Fuses are under there. Brake fluid is here. Engine coolant goes here, and then your windshield washer fluid goes here. So you don't want to take that off. This is where your fluid goes for your windshield washer, windshield wipers there. So this has these little rubber mats that come out, so you can clean them, put them back in. Both on the top and the bottom tier. There's also a light here as well. This opens up. Kind of pop it loose like so you can access components here. The inside of the driver's side door, just like the other side, there's no additional buttons or anything. All the window buttons are in the center, so right in here, and we'll show you that in a second. We'll go over all that stuff, door lock controls and all that. But the blind spot detection system, the little indicator is here on the side mirror, right there. So that'll light up when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. It also has the rear cross traffic alert system as well. So the driver's seat is a power seat, unlike the passenger. You're able to go up, down, tilt, all that stuff, tilt the back, and then a two-way lumbar adjustment as well. To the left of the steering column, there's a few buttons here. Dimmer switch for the interior gauges. So right there's a dimmer switch, the ability to open up the power trunk. This is to release the charge port. Traction control, you can turn that off. Highly recommend you don't unless you need to spin tires. And then the electronic parking brake is here. It automatically engages when you put it in park, but if you want to turn it on for whatever reason, you can do that or release it. And then the side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust with this little pad and to adjust the side mirrors. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column that locks in place right here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to show you the potential legroom here. I'm 6 feet tall and basically lots of room. This is actually a little bit too far back. I would have to pull it up just a little bit just to drive it safely and make sure I can, you know, hit the accelerator and the brake pedal all properly. But yeah, lots of legroom. Nothing really, this kind of extends out so that I got extra knee room here. And then this side is plenty of room. I mean, it goes away from my leg. Some vehicles have this, for some reason, they want to protrude the center console into people's knees for some reason, but this one kind of makes it thinner, and you know, it's not really necessary to do that in most cases anyway. So here's the steering wheel, and it's like a synthetic wrap steering wheel, and it's a little bit of flat there on the bottom, and it has a unique look. There is these illuminated lights right here, and you'll notice that there's the blue kind of shining right here, as well as there on the dash, looking pretty cool. But yeah, very comfortable steering wheel. It's on the firm side, so it's not like a cushy, soft steering wheel, but it does give a little bit, but not too much. It has very aggressive grips right in here too. So this is the drive mode, so you're able to cycle through the different drive modes here simply by pressing a button. Now this is with an electric vehicle, having that quick access drive mode is very important to me anyway when I'm driving. Sometimes I just want to have that, you know, fast acceleration. I can quickly put it in sport mode, but quickly go right back into eco mode or wherever mode I need to get into very quickly. And I like the fact that they put the drive mode very easy to access without even taking your hands off the wheel. Now here on the left side is the cruise control, so you can turn it on, and then you can set, resume, adjust your speed here as well, and then you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you there. So it's the adaptive cruise control system. You can turn on the lane keeping I forget what the exact term that Hyundai uses, but it basically keeps you in the center of the lane, and it does a good job of holding it there without being too intrusive. So right here, this little scroll wheel and this pages button, that corresponds with this gauges here. We'll get to that in a minute. Here on the right side is the volume for the radio, change to the tracks. You have the phone button here, so you can answer calls and hang up with the same button. This little star is a customizable wildcard type button. You can customize that button and what it does here on the screen. Voice recognition is here. Mode is the audio source, so you can hit that and rest on the audio source that you want. Windshield wiper controls are here. Turn signals here. Turn signal also has your headlight controls. So there's off, automatic, parking lights, and headlights. Now, in addition to looking here, you can also, it shows here on the screen. So as I turn it, you'll see that it shows up here on the screen what you're doing. So sometimes, you know, that's kind of handy to have to make sure that you are in fact in automatic mode or whatever the case may be. So you remember these buttons here, the scroll wheel, and you can press in OK, and then the pages buttons here. So we can scroll up and down, and this has a little bit of a texture to it, but sometimes you accidentally press too hard because it's a little bit slippery, and you accidentally push the OK button. So depending on, you know, your hands or how dry your fingers are or whatever, I tend to do that sometimes. Okay, so the gauge is basically a screen, and they kind of change the look of the screen quite different from a normal, you know, gauge style. So we have the digital speedometer here, the estimated range, and this has like this bar that moves as you're driving and lets you know. I have this in the IONIQ 5 and in the Key EV6 video where I show driving down the road, and you can see the little bar moving, showing your acceleration. And then this side, it shows how much power you're using or how much it's charging, depending on the regen braking, which is adjustable. So you can see right here that it says level 1 for the regen braking. This actually has these paddle shifter type things, and as you move, you select them. So this is going to a higher level, so you can see we're in level 3. This is max. So when you go into max, I-pedal drive basically is what it is, where you just let off the accelerator and it will slow you down significantly and actually come to a complete stop. I don't really care for that too much. I like to keep it in the roads that I am in. I like to keep it in level 1. If you put it to level 0, that's basically coasting. Now that could be useful if you're going down hills and stuff like that, and you don't want the vehicle to slow down. Now if it's a real steep grade, then yeah, you want to have a little bit of regen braking so you can take advantage of that extra energy coming from, you know, gravity moving the vehicle down. But yeah, the regen braking is on the fly adjustable, and it's fantastic. And once you get used to it, you'll see how genius it is, that design. Okay, so you see this vehicle here in the center, and it shows the lines here. So as you're driving, if you have the lane keep assist system on, then it'll let you know. All right, so I can't turn it on because I'm not driving, but it'll let you know if it sees the lines and you know, additional information there. It's really impressive. Also, the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you is displayed here as well. But once again, I'm not driving, so I can't, you know, display it on the screen. Now these buttons right here, so pages and the scroll wheel. So let's go to the pages. So you can see that we're in different views here. So this first one is this one, the vehicle. The second one shows the trip, the timer, and average. It's the miles per kilowatt, basically, sort of like the translation for miles per hour. Press it again, it goes to this would be the compass, basically, a navigation, depending on what you have selected. And the next one will be, this is information about your vehicle. So this one is the how much energy is going to what wheel. So this is an all-wheel drive system. So it could be front wheels, back wheels, all wheels, that kind of thing. If we scroll down, it'll display the tire pressure while we're driving. Right now we're not displaying that. So this first one is pretty much the default. So the second one here, with the drive info, you can scroll the wheel and get to the trip A and trip B, and you can reset them independently. The next one here is just that one. You know, if you have a destination set, you'll get more information in the turn-by-turn directions there as well. All right, so this vehicle, this is actually the odometer right here. And you see 24 miles. So since it's such a low number, some people might not recognize that as the odometer. There's also, it shows the speed limit signs, what gear you're in, all that kind of stuff. And this little bar here at the bottom shows you, as you're driving, how much energy you're using. So if you're accelerating and braking hard and driving aggressively, then it's gonna show that bar moving quite a bit and show you how much you're actually using. So if you're trying to save energy, then you want to keep that at a lower rate of discharge. All right, so over here, I have the screen up. This screen is actually in the settings. So we have different themes for the screen. Also, the cluster theme selection. So I have it set to drive mode. So you notice when we change the drive mode, it changed the look of the screen over here. But we can unlink that and we can permanently choose a theme. So we'll go, there's theme A, theme B, and theme C. So depending on what you want, it has like this 3-dimensional effect, looking pretty cool. But we'll go back to link it to drive mode. And then we have the graphic themes here. We have white, black. So black would be more for the nighttime, but look how it blends in with this black background here. I really like that look right there. Easy on the eyes as well. And then you can schedule a time for it to go to the black screen. If you want to just have this at nighttime or have it all the time, you can do that, or have it automatic to where at nighttime. The only issue with the automatic part is as it's getting dark, it starts getting a little bit dim, and then you go in some shadows, then it turns dark, and then you go back out of the shadows, it turns light. There's this time where it's just going back and forth, and eventually settles on the dark one. But I like to just leave it on black. I like the way it looks anyway. It does have a split screen here to where you can have additional information there on the side, and you can select the ones that you want in there. So let's get back out of that. I just want to show you that before I get too far. So this has like basically 3 screens. So this is basically the 3 home screens. So when you hit home, it'll take you here. But this is all basically part of that home screen. This first one is very important because it shows a nice big digital clock and a date. It also shows your battery percentage and your range. So you have some key information right there, what your radio is doing as well. You have key information there. We also have like a little bit of a fade into the navigation map as well. I thought it was kind of neat. So this next screen here, this is very important, EV. So when you hit that, it takes you to the screen, and this is important because it shows you your battery percentage once again, your range with the climate control on, but it also gives you the range with the climate control off. Also, the nearest charge station. So we can hit this, it'll take us to the navigation screen and set that as a destination, and we go straight to the nearest charge station. Now it doesn't tell you if the charge station has a fast charger or not, it's just this is the closest one to the vehicle, to wherever you're at, you know. All right, so that's the EV. Now there is settings, very important, I think. You hit right here to the settings, and then you can have the max charge. You can set it to, you know, a lower rate than a lower total charge than 100. So for longevity, they recommend going 85, 90, something like that. So you can max on DC charger or AC charger. And the reason why this is important is because DC charger will be, you're out on the road, you're on a trip, you're taking a long trip, you stop at a DC charger to fast charge because you don't have time to, you know, leave it overnight. So DC charger, it makes more sense to have it at 100. But AC charger, like at your house, maybe you want to have it to 85 or 90. Charging current, this is another one that's important. So maximum would be your, depending on what you plug it into, it'll go the maximum what the charger is capable of. You can reduce that. So let's say at my house I use a 40 amp system. So I hit maximum, it'll be 40 amps charging, 220, 40 amps, which is quite a bit of energy. So what I do is I reduce it because it still charges fast enough. So in my case it's 40. This one would be, I think it's like 32, and then this one is about 22. So this is the minimum, but it still charges, you know, for the most part overnight, and I don't have to worry too much about the electrical system being, you know, overtaxed with the maximum 40 amps. Because 40 amps, that's like turning an electric stove, all the burners on, the oven, the everything on the electric stove, and just leaving it on all night long. So it's a lot of energy being moved at your house. So if you don't have to have that charge rate, it's not a problem for the vehicle, but it is potentially, you know, could pop a breaker or whatever the case may be at your house. So, you know, just out of precaution, I'd lower it to the minimum because it still charges, like I said, overnight. So that's an important screen to know where it is, that little cog right there under the EV section. Here's the navigation map, And right now we're in that night mode, like I said, and it looks pretty cool. And you can pinch zoom in and out, get your bearings, that kind of thing. You can see the side menu here is still there. It's funny how you can have the navigation on both of them. All right, let's go back out of there. So you have your phone, so you can pair phones and pair your phones there. Phone projection, that will be Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Voice memo, that's really awesome. So this is where you can record. So you think of something, maybe a to-do list, or just you have your genius idea. Then you can hit this. Subscribe to Mike's Car Info on YouTube. All right, so we save a voice memo, so now we know what to do. And we can always go back to it here and play it and take notes or whatever. So when you're driving, sometimes you just think of stuff and you want to record it. This gives a quick access to the climate control. There is some climate control buttons down here. We'll get to that in a second, but this is where you can see where the air is blowing, the fan speed, so you can change where the air is blowing, the temperatures. You can set the automatic to high, medium, and low, or you can turn the system off. You can also have it on driver only if you want. So if you're just driving by yourself, you can have it focus mostly on you. Then there's the climate settings here. So this would be the seat warmers, the driver and passenger. You can have it, you can actually set it like, so it's a 3-stage, high, low, medium, and high for the heated seats. Or you can have it off for the driver and the passenger. And there's a shortcut down here as well. Valet mode, so you can select that. Also a quiet mode, so if you don't want to have more of the sound system and the music in here in the front instead of the back, if you got kids in the back sleeping or something, that kind of thing. HD radio, if you have that set up, is where a ton of infinitely divisible options are. So you can go in your vehicle, your EV, your navigation, your sound, all kinds of stuff. And this is where I actually went to the screen theme layout before. You can also have a separate one, which is the display here, the illumination, blue light filter, and then you have camera settings here. All right, and then general is a separate, this is a completely separate settings, so you can go into this as well. All right, let's get back at it. All right, so then the last screen here, we have the radio, media. It's like your media would be USB device or your cell phone, that kind of thing. Let's look at the radio screen. So this is the navigation system right here. I mean the, sorry, satellite radio system, not satellite navigation. So you have the album art, what channel you're in, and then you have a channel list here that you can scroll through and choose the one you want. You can also star them as well and have favorites. You have AM, FM, satellite radio. There's your presets there. We also have right here is for users, set up user profiles, and so that's how you quickly do that. And you can change users as well. This button here, you can turn the display off if you want to clean it or if you just don't want to see it. And you can also search for settings. Let's say you don't want to scroll through the infinitely divisible settings. Like I was mentioning before, you can do a search there. It also has the user manual, but basically it's just a QR code, but you can pull it up on your phone quickly. All right, that's a quick rundown of that screen, which is very functional, and it seems complex, but once you get used to it and you go to the normal things that you go to, and then it's not a big deal. All right, before we get to the climate control, it's really easy to skip over this. This is actually the shifter. So here's the shifter here, and basically there's a button to put it in park here, but you just turn it. So we'll go ahead and put it in drive like so by turning it. Pulling it back a little bit, we'll go in neutral. Make sure the wind's not blowing, air's not blowing on the camera here. And then reverse. And when we put it in reverse, two things will happen. One is the parking sensors will be active. We also have the camera system, which is also active. And it has the active guidelines there on the screen. You also shows right here for the rear cross traffic alert. That's what those little arrows are representing, but also your parking sensors. And there's different views. So right now we have the wide view, so we can see pretty good around the vehicle. And this is like a top-down view, just like top-down, seeing what's on the ground directly behind the vehicle. And then this is a shortcut to the camera settings here. All right, so to put it in park, you just hit that. Now we're in park. So it's pretty simple. It's kind of in an odd place, but it's super easy to use and very functional. I like that shifter. It's completely out of the way. It frees up this whole area right here. All right, so right in here, there's the volume for the radio, shortcuts, map, navigation, media. There's the star, same thing on the steering wheel that you can customize. Tune through the stations, up and down, tuner. This is a quick button to turn on the camera, even if you don't have the it in park. If you just want to look at the camera, you can hit this button, and then you can see the backup camera. Now, in some vehicles, they have the 360 top-down view. This one just has the regular backup camera. And then the parking sensors, you can turn them off. You can see the little light there is on. This is kind of cool. It's a little, you see right there, that is a reset button. So you can reset the system quickly with a little paper clip or something. So we saw the start button. Here's the navigation controls. So the temperature for the driver, the passenger. Here's the shortcut to the heated seats, fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters, recirculate the air, all that kind of stuff. Very easy to use. So just under that is a wireless charge pad for the cell phone. There's also a backlit illuminated USB port as well. And there's a little storage compartment there. It goes in there quite a ways. Some cup holders, and they do have these little spring-loaded arms. And the bottom comes out, little rubber thing comes out. Clean it, put it back in. Power windows. The front two are one touch up and down. They are laminated glass too as well here on the front. Go up and down quite fast. And then the back ones you do have to hold. You see they go fast, and they don't go all the way down. You can see they almost do. There's a little bit sticking up there. You have to hold it to lift it up. Door lock controls. Auto hold, this is like holds the brake for you while you're sitting still, like at a stoplight or something, so you don't have to hold the brake the whole time. As soon as you hit the accelerator, it releases the vehicle and you can drive. This is to lock out the kids from playing around with the windows in the back. All right, so this little quick access storage right there, this actually lifts up. But before I go that, I mentioned that on the door, it's like a fabric type material. This is actually like it looks like a fabric, okay, but it's actually like a vinyl type material. But it's very convincingly looks like a canvas type material, but it's actually smooth and easy to clean, like a vinyl, and it extends here as well. And then you have that large compartment there at the bottom, and you can access it from either side. It's not super accessible to me, just kind of down there, but it does give you the ability to put a bag out of the way, that kind of thing. Okay, so this lifts up. This is kind of rubbery soft, not super cushy soft. This lifts up, but it stops wherever you let go. It's kind of stiff, so that way it doesn't slam back down on you. So wherever you just let go, it just kind of stays there. I like that. It goes all the way up, like so, out of the way. And then there is a storage compartment here, and 2 USB-C charge ports as well. And then you can see that where wires could go in and out of the compartment, this little recessed area right here. And then there's a little quick access cubby right there. Once again, we have a now this has a like a hard plastic bottom. So let's say you put some change or whatever, it's going to slide around in here. So I wish it had like a rubber bottom, but it has little pixels there in the bottom. This has like a felt line at the bottom, like a felt portion at the bottom. So at least that would be there, but I prefer like a little rubber pad would be nice. Also, if the inside of this was lighter color, it kind of turns into like a black hole. Okay, the rear view mirror is an auto dim rear view mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the light, the shade over the light sensor, which is located back here. Now it's just the rear view mirror. The side mirrors are not auto dimming. There's the HomeLink garage door opener controls here. There's some quick access lights here. So this is all the interior lights can turn on. All the interior lights turn off. This is to have the lights turn on with the door. So as I open the door, all the lights turn on. Close the door, they turn off. But you can turn that feature off. Once again, if you have a kid sleeping in the back or something, you can have that feature turned off. Also, these lights individually, you just tap them. There's like a little dot right here, kind of like braille, what you can touch. It's not here where the light is. It's right here. So you can press it and turn it on or off. Same thing with the passenger side. It's like a little reading light. Now the visor has a mirror and has a light that turns on separate. So you have to go up here and turn that on. And if you accidentally leave it on, when you close this, it hits it and turns it off, which is pretty cool. There's a little visor clip. And this is like a cloth material. This is actually a cloth material, just like the headliner. It does extend out, so you can shift the coverage sometimes. All right, and there's the roadside assistance and also access to your app, the app system that Hyundai uses. Looking at the visibility in the back, with that swooping portion, thought it would be an issue. I mean, there's a little window between the pillars back there, but overall, just kind of looking over my shoulders and looking at the side mirrors, as far as visibility, it's not really bad at all. It's pretty impressive how they made a vehicle, the design like this, without like really bad blind spots. But of course, it has the parking sensors, it has the camera system, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, a lot of technology in addition to, you know, just a regular visibility as well. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to Parkway Hyundai here in Wilmington, North Carolina. Excellent dealership. Very pleased to work with them doing these videos. They allow access to this vehicle. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you to them for allowing me to show off the vehicle. And I'll see you guys next time.